everyone, and welcome to Autocrat. This is episode 88, Death or Divinity.
Very much question mark.
Exactly. Even though you didn't put one on there.
I didn't. But you can imagine a question mark, listeners. Who knows if there'll be one on the title?
Who knows?
I haven't made up my mind yet, anyway.
Today we will be working through the life of Aeneas after the Iliad finishes.
Yep.
From there we will be working through the story of his descendants.
Yep, we will. However, we get a lot of new and old sources for this period, so we can play the jingle.
It's a sauce, but don't put it on pasta.
I bet they contradict each other a lot and cover different portion of the narrative and just not in the same order and, you know.
They do. I have the academic equivalent of a caffeine addiction now.
So, we will be covering them one by one, starting with someone who's very famous in the history world, named Livy.
Yes, this is the Roman historian Livy, or Titus Livius to give him his proper name, who wrote a monumental epic of the history of Rome, of which we have like a third of it.
Yeah, we're missing loads of it. It's very sad.
We
could go back in time and get it.
Yeah, we do have some really good stuff from him though, so stay tuned. He will be with us for a while.
Nice.
So, Livy starts off his narrative with a sort of grandiose introduction, as it were. You've got to if you're writing a massive, massive history book. And then he essentially tells us the story of the Aeneid again. Because fair enough, he wasn't to know we were going to read the Aeneid first, was he?
No, he wasn't to know that.
So, I'm going to skip stuff like the story of Turnus and Mezentius from the Aeneid. What I will say is that when the Trojans were being threatened like this by the Rutuli-Etruscan alliance we saw in the Aeneid, Aeneas gave the name of Latins to his people. This was a means to bind them to the actual native Latins of Italy, so you've got a fusing of the Latin indigenous people and the Trojan newcomers into one culture. After all, they now shared the name. This made the Latins more positively inclined towards their king, and the two people groups were fast becoming united. But now, on to the bit after the Aeneid, which is surprisingly short in Livy's narrative. Aeneas marched out against Etruria and the Etruscans. Despite that, at the time, the whole of Italy was kind of scared of the Etruscans. Aeneas was, according to Livy, killed in battle.
Right.
He was buried on the Numicus River, which flows between the towns of Lavinium, which we've covered before, and Ardea. Now, Livy actually questions whether Aeneas was a mortal man, or instead, a god.
I mean, he is the son of a goddess.
He is.
So he's kind of halfway.
And I will try and get the jingle jangler to come up with some sort of divinity question mark or something like that jingle, because we're going to be dealing with that quite a bit.
Could it be he's divine, or is this all a waste of time?
However, in Livy's day, Aeneas was still apparently known as Jupiter Indiges, which basically means the local Jupiter.
Okay.
So there you have it. According to Livy, Aeneas dies, but also kind of doesn't.
Right.
We now turn to a very familiar face, and this is Ovid in his Metamorphoses.
Especially book 14.
Exactly. Ovid says that once Turnus was dead, the city of Ardea was conquered by the Latins and razed to the ground. In the middle of the rubble of Ardea, a previously unknown bird rose into the sky, shaking off cinders and mourning with its cry. Now I'll give you 3 guesses as to which bird this is.
A crow.
It's not a crow.
A raven.
No.
A dove.
A dove. It's none of those. I'm very glad I didn't give you unlimited guesses, or we might be here a while. This bird was the very first heron, which the spirit of Ardea was apparently transformed into.
Okay.
Now, the character of Aeneas meant that the gods were now united. Nobody, not even Juno, could oppose him in the pantheon anymore. And once Aeneas' son Iulus' future fortune was in place, it was time for Aeneas to go into heaven. Venus appealed to Jupiter to give some small amount of divine nature into her son, no matter what amount. I mean, after all, he's Jupiter's grandson, for crying out loud. I'm guessing in this scenario Venus is the daughter of Jupiter, but as we've seen before, Venus and Aphrodite's genealogy gets messy quickly.
It does.
Now, after all, Venus says, he's already seen Hades once before, don't make him die and cross the Styx again. All the gods, even Juno, agreed with this. Granted, Juno only nodded rather than giving a wholehearted assent, but still, it's progress. She doesn't fully hate him anymore. That's something. Jupiter agrees. Venus thanks him and then flies down to Laurentum being pulled by doves. I think there might be a chariot involved, but the text doesn't say. I'm not sure. Maybe she was just holding a pile of doves. A pile? A flock? Anyway. She heads to the river Numicus, commanding the river to wash away all the bits of Aeneas that were mortal and flush them into the ocean.
Alright, sure, why not?
With that, only the divine bit remains, and Venus anoints his body once it's pure. She also puts ambrosia and nectar to his lips and fully turns him into a god. This is the god Indiges, who the Romans honour with altars and temples. Now, I believe this means, given that Numicus comes up again, that Aeneas might have died in that battle anyway, a bit like Livy says, but I'm not sure. This is all we get from Ovid.
Okay. I've got a good source for you that speaks of Aeneas.
Nice.
It's a very, very good one, where we learn a lot about him.
Yeah.
It's Diodorus.
Diodorus?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Greek historian.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've got lots to tell you.
Okay, go on.
Diodorus says Aeneas dies.
Oh.
And that's it.
Okay. I feel shortchanged now. I want my money back.
Well, back to you and Dio then.
Yes, this is, again, the Roman historian Cassius Dio, who will be with us, I believe, until the 3rd century CE.
That's a while.
That means about 1,000 years of history from
Nice.
the start of Rome. He's going to be there for even longer than Livy. Now, from Dio, we get that Aeneas disappears during the war, or maybe battle, which the Etruscans and the Rutuli apparently win. So again, like Livy, he's marched out to attack the Etruscans and lost horribly. He was seen neither dead or alive again, ever, and he was given honour as a god.
I think you mean Avs.
What? That's dust on my screen.
Oh.
Don't mock my spelling when it's dust on my screen.
Well, why is your screen dusty?
Don't mock my dusty screen.
Okay. You
Anyway,
get honored as a god.
He's
sure.
also seen as the founder of the Roman people. Thank you. He is also seen as the founder of the Roman people, and they are delighted to be called, quote-unquote, sons of Aeneas. And Dionysius of Halicarnassus, who deals a lot with the subject in his book Roman Antiquities, doesn't really add anything we don't already know.
Okay.
So, all of those put together lead us to the conclusion that Aeneas reigns for, I'm not sure how much longer, I didn't think to look that up, attacks the Etruscans, is killed in battle, but gets transformed into a god at the behest of his mother Venus.
Yeah. I think we can really summarize it, like you said, as Aeneas, neither dead or alive, maybe a god, maybe not a god.
He got turned into a cat from Schrodinger's cat. It's Schrodinger's Aeneas. So, that's Aeneas finally gone from the stage of Autocrat.
Or maybe not.
Or maybe not, but I doubt he's coming back into it anytime soon.
Okay.
I say that, probably now 1 episode away in my research it'll be, and Aeneas came back and did loads of things. Do you know what happens after Aeneas disappears?
The foundation of Rome.
Yes, but that is in 753 BCE. Do you see a problem with this?
Yes, what happens in the time between?
Yes, we are still in the 1100s BCE. We've got about 500 years to go before we get to Rome.
Right.
So I guess you'll have to find out what happens in the intervening next time.
Yes.
So, thank you all very much for listening, and until then, have a great week, everyone.
Have a great week.
I let you yawn first, see?
I did not yawn.
You never yawned?
I don't yawn, it's not a thing I do.
Listeners, we're going to put a poll up whether my co-host yawned before
We're not
the
going to do
recording.
that, this is going to go away.
I'm definitely going to do that.
I do not consent to this being put on.
You're actually not.
Who knows?
It's definitely going in the edit. Anyway,